through love, I started to remember who I am. And this is so, I don't have any words for this, it's so special, and I'm so grateful for this. And yeah, it's just through love, everything is possible. Yeah, it's just everything about love. It's everything about love. Yeah. Yeah.
We might just take that and put it right at the front. This gorgeous creature is Svaha. She is a colleague of mine from the real life Hogwarts, as I call it. It's also known as a modern day ashram in France. And the first impression that she made on me was one of absolute beauty. She has luscious hair. I just remember her smelling good and smiling the softest, sweetest smile with these big brown eyes. We haven't spoken on many occasions, but we did have one conversation that really made an impact on me. Svaha described to me a decision that she had made, which in implementing it had transformed her whole life, not least attracting to her husband, who she married within a short amount of time from making that decision. Well, I have retold this story on multiple occasions to clients, friends, anyone who would listen, and I'm so glad we've captured it in this episode, and she's really broken down what that decision looked like and how she came to embody it. The other thing I've noticed about Svaha in observing her over the years is what a close relationship she has to her family of origin. Now, I have a good relationship with my younger brother and sister. We get along really well, but under no circumstances would I volunteer to live with them as an adult. Meanwhile, at least the two sisters of Svaha did volunteer to move in with her, I believe, on 2 separate occasions. It's so visible how much these sisters and mother in particular enjoy to be together that we began our discussion with a little question about where she comes from, what it was like for her to grow up, and it's always interesting to see how our soul qualities are seeded and gestated in our family of origin. That is where we got started.
I was born in Germany, in Frankfurt, but I'm originally from Turkey. And the family I incarnated was a very traditional Turkish family. My parents, their marriage was arranged. If I look back how I grew up, even though to have this kind of family where you sense, okay, my mom doesn't love my dad, yeah, loves my mom, but there's no harmony. And then you are in this traditional Turkish surrounding. I grew up in a tiny village in Germany, close to Frankfurt. And there was my grandpa, the father of my father. And he was really like a dictator.
Oh,
yeah.
classic.
Yeah, really, you have to listen what he says. If they would saw me in the next village, this is something not good. Or to have a boyfriend before the marriage. Things like that, like very traditional. I couldn't breathe. It was everything so
tight,
exactly. And also all the women around me, my aunts, even if we went to Turkey, I always saw in a very young age the sadness of the women. And I never wanted to be part of them. I didn't understand what's going on. Because everyone was sad.
How did you recognize the sadness?
I could just feel it. I just felt it all the time. all the time.
Mm.
And that was my surrounding. We were very lucky that our parents, even there was no real harmony, they never, let's say, they never argued, or they never judged anyone outside. They always said, okay, this is their life. You don't know what they experienced. They never talked bad about anyone. Never.
Amazing. Opposite of my family.
Never. Really? Never. Never.
Why do you think that is? Do you think maybe being immigrants in a different country had an impact?
Oh, I would say it's because they have a really pure heart.
Mm.
Yeah. And, they always let us just be who we are. They never tried to form us. We could sense this unconditional love.
Mm.
I think this is what left like an imprint on us. Like, we don't care what other people do. We don't judge. We don't care. Like, we just, if we can share joy, that's wonderful. If not, okay, you do you, we do ours. And I think this is the reason why we have this kind of beautiful, deep relationship with my siblings, even though we are, of course, absolutely, totally different beings. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without them, without this inner circle of supporting, without this inner circle of love, and just we go through everything together.
Amazing. So not very codependent, not very you must be here or
No, for sure
expectation.
not. No, for sure not.
Okay,
No.
I think we need a masterclass on family arrangements from Swaha. Yes, I don't know anyone else who describes their family of origin this way. You were the first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, but it's so beautiful because I think exactly that point that like real love breaks down our dependencies, breaks down our attachment. So many people are trying to navigate their attachments and their dependencies with their heads and with psychology. So it sounds like you have quite a unique foundation there. You sensed unconditional love from your family, etc. So from that, then I'm curious if you had relationship challenges outside of the family or whether you've had relationship challenges navigating the external world and if there have been some turning points there where you learned some lessons that you'd like to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Actually, all my life. But what I shared right now about my family, this realization about actually what we had, just I had that quite late in a way. Because it was for me as a child, of course, very difficult to have parents, to sense they are not happy with each other and whatever. So it was not a harmonious field. So I was always looking outside for something better. And I had really painful relationships. The turning point was Leon was 1.5 years old. And I was always a single mom. There was really just a moment where I couldn't handle disrespect anymore towards myself, even like this little kind of disrespectfulness.
How did you notice that? How did that become apparent to you? No more disrespect.
How did I realize? Because I was laying on the ground and really my face got numbed after a situation. I reached this kind of state. I think I really needed this kind of physical reaction to really understand I can't live with that anymore. And especially I would say because, I was a mom at that time. Since Leon was born, I took life much more serious in a way myself. And he was always my focus. My goal was really to heal everything what I can to be a good mom, especially this kind of relationships, especially towards men, because I have a son. So, I didn't want it to have any, like, not even a tiniest thing of seeing men as something bad, especially towards men. I really wanted to heal everything.
How did you do that?
First, there was a moment when I met a woman who helped me with Akasha readings.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, I realized, okay, finally, this is it.
She did readings for you.
Yeah. And I mean, also our conversations, I just felt it's not her brain or her experiences who are talking. It's something different. And I thought, okay, this is the right direction. So it started with that. But actually the main turning point was really the moment where I felt a strong power, a huge power inside of me, which decided to be love and to receive unconditional love.
Is this the moment you've described to me before?
Yes.
Do you take us into that moment in your life, like how that occurred and how you really implemented that to choose love?
I would say it was something higher because I felt in that moment so much pain, like really like my face was numb.
More about that? Did this just come on while you were lying down?
No, it was actually a very nothing serious situation. I had a date.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't a real date. It was more like, okay, he's a single dad, I'm a single mom, and we just wanted to see us for a coffee. And I was not even interested. It was really like, okay, let's grab a coffee. But as a single mom, it was really like, okay, you need to organize a babysitter. And he canceled our appointment like 30 minutes before. And I mean, as I said, it was nothing really deeply serious, but even this kind of action created this numbness inside of me because it was for me very disrespectful.
Okay, let's slow down a second because I so want to help people to decode their bodies here. So you get the news that this man has cancelled on you. What happens then? How do you find yourself lying down on the ground and how does this numbness occur to you? Because even becoming aware of numbness is a big deal.
Oh, okay.
I have this a lot with people. They say, I feel nothing. And I say, you feel numbness. And that is something to feel and be aware of.
I mean, I really felt it in my face. It was numb.
How long after the news was this?
Let's say 5 minutes afterwards.
Okay, so 5 minutes after the news, you're lying on the ground and you notice your face is going numb.
Yeah.
I'm adding a body decoding note here, as this is one of my professional specialisms and something I'm so eager to highlight within this story. The fact that Svaha noticed the significance of this physical sensation or even lack of sensation on her face is such a part of this pivotal moment that she's about to describe to you. So the face represents how we present ourselves to the world. It is the face we put forward, so to speak. So for it to feel numb reminds me of a mask falling. And we can all sense the metaphor in that of a call to bring attention to this most emotionally expressive part of the body and to recognize, okay, there's not pain here, but there's absence of feeling. Well, the body symbolism is always personal, and what makes it get our attention varies from person to person as well, making the connection between an event, your inner guidance, your inner direction, and your physical body essentially like reading a poem. So it's always open to interpretation and deeper reflection, but it really is symbolic. So I love that Svaha brought this experience into our conversation, and also that it was such a moment for her to slow down and to follow that call to be present with herself and to go inside. This is certainly, in my experience, always what the body is asking us to do. And I would invite the listener just to consider what could have been different in Svaha's story had she not gone inside at this point. Had she, for example, freaked out because her face was numb, called the doctor, run to someone else to seek an answer or explanation for what was happening. Like, how do you react to that? What happens inside of you as that takes place?
And in that moment, I felt a different energy inside of me. It's really something very strong, which I didn't encounter before. And something inside of me really just said, I just want to be loved and I just want to receive unconditional love. It just came through me, okay? And before this situation, I never like I was totally not into making decisions. But this moment was really, it was something sacred, really. It changed my whole life. I think it was just a time for it, that it came through me. I mean, I just shared so easily right now, but in that moment, I didn't know what that means. Really not. When that feeling, this power came through me to make this decision, there was no frame. There was not, it was just totally free. It was not like, yeah, I want to receive unconditional love, but it should look like that. And actually, it was not about a person. It was not about a man. It was not about anything. It was just a very free decision.
Let me just pause you for a second, because I want to come to all the things that came after. But this is such a beautiful description, because so many people are in the dating arena. Like I said, they're looking for check boxes and they are trying to operate with the frame, looking at the 3D situation and the 3D people and categorizing and trying to calculate in the mind. And really, relationships are awakening us, right? So it's the light underneath everything is our work to look at that level. But I love your description, because this openness to a more mystical experience, a completely indescribable physical sensation that you don't have a box for, was really, looking back, this pivotal moment. I love that. And there was no probably rationale for what was happening. And so from that point, from that powerful inner click that you now call a decision, what did change in your life and how did you align with that choice for love?
It started with this little steps. I felt this power of, okay, I close every door to any bullshit.
Oh, I like that. Door closed to bullshit.
Yeah, because what we, especially we women, we tend to say, no, I don't want that anymore, but I leave the door a little bit open,
You bolted it shut, huh?
Yeah, it was really about everything. Friendship. If I sensed, okay, this is really not, I think I was brave enough to really respect my values. I started, and I mean, it was not easy. It was for sure not easy, but I reached a point where I simply was brave enough, to decide for myself, not for anyone else, just to receive love. So it was really a step-by-step path.
In every area of life,
in every area.
You just started to close down the door open to bullshit everywhere, all around.
Everywhere. I mean, I had no plan. What I did, I really felt, okay, what is right for me? What feels good? What feels good for my heart? So that was, I would say, that was my compass. What feels really good for my heart?
Yes, so please describe that a little more if you can, because there's a lot of confusion also about what it means to follow one's heart. But if you're not watching the video, Svaha just touched her chest and said, I listened to in here what felt good, what felt correct. Can you describe that? Because for me, it's really quite mechanical. For anyone who's listening going, what does that mean to follow your heart or ask what's right?
My heart was always leading me, So I'm just thinking right now how to describe for people who have difficulties with that. But if it feels tight in your heart, okay, that's like a sign for, okay, something's maybe wrong. If you feel your heart can expand in that situation, yeah, okay, that's maybe the right path. But I would really say this, what we underestimate is really this power of making a decision. Yeah. Really.
And that was the decision. I choose love.
Yes, it was not connected to anything. And even if you want, any kind of decision, I can recommend that. You should be in a state where you're really open to anything and just make this decision of this power, what you naturally own. This is the point. Maybe it would help to be conscious about this power in yourself. What I said, like, I didn't know what love is at that time.
Yes. So you
So
choose love and then you're going to
yes,
discover.
yes. So the thing was, what I received also in that moment was, okay, I just said, I have no clue what it is. Please show me step by step how to reach this point or how to deal with it. So it was really the guidance. It was really like step by step. That was the point. And this is what I still do. If I don't know about the situation or whatever, I would always ask, okay, I don't know about it. I have no clue. Please show me step by step.
Wonderful. And have you ever been someone who's been sidetracked by external authority? You should do this, you have to try that. Or have you always been quite clear with yourself?
No, I would say I was always in the middle of it.
Hmm.
I never had a sense for my own being. I never had this kind of, I didn't know who I am. I didn't felt myself. I couldn't feel myself. I couldn't. I felt everyone else. I felt their needs. But at that time, I didn't know that it's a quality. But if you're not conscious about that, it is not the best experience. I can sense from a person immediately their needs, what they're longing for. And I always thought I'm responsible for that. After this big decision I made, everything changed. I started step by step to get to know myself, to have a sense more and more about myself. And it brought also my husband to me.
Quite quickly.
I don't know. Maybe it took 1 year, 1.5 years. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, something like that. Also a nice story because if we talk about love, I remembered our love, or we remembered our love. Okay, but it was extremely out of everything what I knew before. And at that moment, I really realized what this decision was actually, because my husband is much more older than me. I never imagined to have a partner who's much older than me, and you know all these kind of things, what you think you should have or whatever. In that moment, I actually really realized what this decision cost.
Had put in motion inside and built.
Yes, yes, yes. But also in that situation, because you encounter always difficulties in the outside, right? People who judge or have other opinions, or yeah, so many things. But this decision inside of me helped me always to be brave. Just to, okay, I don't care what other people think. Even though I don't know what this kind of situation is, even though I feel like a baby and try to explore by myself what's happening here right now, I didn't allow any bullshit energy to enter this field. I didn't allow it. For example, also my mom, it was in the beginning, of course, he's older than my mom. And she couldn't understand it in the beginning. But then, I said, Mom, we grew up like that. And because our outer field, the whole family was always judging. And I said, yeah, and I said, okay, look, here are all the judgments and all the expectations how I should live my life, even yours. And here's my happiness. What do you think? What should I choose? It didn't take long, but of course, it's something. If you start something so sacred, precious, something totally new, of course, you would love that the people you love the most share this joy. But I was very clear about I just follow what makes me happy.
I love that. I love the simplicity actually of your description of what it was to choose love. Close the door to bullshit. Here, there, left, right, up, down. And I love that description there of dealing with and tending to those relationships that come under strain. You've told me that some people left your life when you chose love. I imagine maybe new ones arrived. But
Yes.
where it matters in your family, where that longevity of the relationship is also required. It's beautiful to hear your description because I can see for myself how I have left love in trying to make those relationships work, maybe over explaining what you described there of you kind of led that relationship also into your love, also into well, my happiness is here. You didn't leave yourself
Yeah, no.
to meet her or to prove
No.
yourself. And that would have been detrimental. It gained such a momentum from what you're describing. At this point, I'm curious, some years on, first of all, how you would describe love. And second of all, if you feel at all it's something that's ever at risk, because obviously it keeps asking more of you, I would imagine. Do you ever fear to lose love or to lose your trail
Oh,
with yourself because it seems to gain momentum?
ooh, okay, what is love?
To
Question. Big question. I think,
you now.
like, for my current kind of state,
Hmm.
I would say, and I'm sure it will change. Love is just a divine power. I would say love is, some people would say maybe love is God, love is the universe, love is, I would say love is just everything, everything what I see, what I feel. Even this this sentence is so huge because it's so easy to express it. But I can share this because I experienced it. I would say love is not what we think in the first way. This kind of romance or whatever. It is not. But it's okay to have this opinion in the beginning, you know. But it's a huge power, and it's just a divine power. I would say it's just divine. So how can I be in this state? Actually, it means my perspective to life is not against me. It's always for me. So this is the foundation of everything for myself. There's nothing against me, nothing. And what I experience as a challenge outside of me and my outer world, it has always to do with my inner world, always. You can have a bad day if you don't sense this love around you, but you can always have a beautiful day if you're aware and conscious that everything is just love, and love is me, love is God, God is me. You know, it's just we are everything. And I would say that makes life so simple. I would say simplicity is everything. It's so sacred for me, how I experience my life so far.
And at this point for you, does that take a lot of effort and attention to achieve on the daily, or is it something that's really flowing
Not
now?
not anymore, I would say, but it was quite challenging, and I had a huge realization. What takes the most energy from you? It's that, like, that you don't accept yourself fully,
Hmm.
your mindset, everything towards yourself. If you judge yourself, it's not the outer world which takes so much energy from you. It's how you treat yourself. And if you realize this, if you really start to treat yourself in a loving way, to talk with yourself in a loving way, you get softer like butter, and you can manage everything
Mm.
in a very easy, flexible way. It doesn't mean that I have this kind of state every day in 24 hours.
100% of the time.
Yes, no, for sure not. I have also, of course, kind of days of not being centered or whatever. But most of the times, and I'm so grateful for this, that I really started to accept everything. You know, we don't grow up with this kind of consciousness to allow our own power. It takes a while, and you need the willpower to say yes to yourself always. Yeah, and that was, I would say, my key. And of course, this loving space, what I have with my husband.
Mm. The
Yeah.
nourishment of a relationship that
Yeah.
supports that.
Yeah, besides my family, to experience this with a man, you know, to have really this kind of loving space where I can be who I am. And I'm still trying to figure out who I am. And I think this is something which will never change because we are evolving our whole life. But to feel this holding space, that it's okay, you can be however you want, you can be who you are, And that was a very new experience for me. And in the beginning, I couldn't believe it because it was so strange. And I needed a bit to really realize that it's real. And again, it's really about the simplicity in your life, your foundation. It's everything about your foundation. Do I have a loving circle? How do I treat myself? How is my day? How do I talk with me? How do I talk with others? Do I allow bullshit or not?
Back
You
to the
know,
bullshit.
it's really about this simple foundation. And if you enter this kind of state, my core is stable and it makes life so much easier. I can allow myself much more easier to be who I am. I don't need to fight. I don't need to protect. It's just this love, this loving field, what you allow yourself to be. I don't know, it's a miracle.
I think what I'm hearing is the kind of rearrangement of your external life coming from this decision, which at the same time perhaps wasn't even a decision so much as a ripening inside of yourself and a birthing around you by that commitment that took daily and consistent effort to do what? Close the door to bullshit is the main thing I've heard. And I love the emphasis on that. I think I have one more question, which is really about in building this field of love. It sounds also like you're quite resolved from any past stories. Did it support you in dropping, in forgiving, and freeing yourself from past pain?
Yeah, this is also a main point and a very good question because what I realized after time through this loving surrounding, let's say, you feel much more freer. I would say healing, for me, it was always like this, like you enter a new field in this topic. And through this, I would say you don't need to dive deep in it and there's no drama. There's no drama in this.
Come
Right?
out of the drama to heal.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Close the door to the bullshit. Don't open the door to the bullshit and get in there.
Yeah. I don't mean that you should not feel and go through this, but what I realized, most of the people, they love to be in it. Yeah, okay, if you love to stay in it, it makes it much harder. And especially in this quality of time we're in right now, just with this intention to heal something, there is this new energy already. So many topics, so many things are just released. I would say it was much more easier. I just tried to live my life and always choose the easiest, joyful way, always.
I love that dedication because that can sound a little bit oversimplified to people who are really trying to understand and get a grip on how to fix themselves. But that simplicity of having enough and choosing joy and choosing, like you said, what feels right in the heart. Is it expansive? Is it closing? And perhaps something for anyone who is stuck in a little bit of the healing loop and the drama and their relationships is just that simple question. How does it feel in your heart? And what do you choose now?
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you have this kind of challenging situation, what I always do is I feel it in that moment for sure. Maybe I need 1 day, maybe 2 days, but then it's always about, okay, what I need to see, what I didn't see, what I need to realize, what is my next step? I don't stay in any drama way. My time is so precious for me to enjoy really life as this multi-dimensional being we are.
I love it. So, with that in mind, thinking back to yourself on a darker day, thinking of someone who might be listening in a more challenging situation, what's one thing you would like to really offer and to have heard, relationship wise, especially?
I would say the biggest goal should always be your perspective. You should always check your perspective towards life and towards relationship. A relationship is not here to rescue you. It's not here to make you happier or whatever. It's a field where you met yourself in a much more deeper way. And you choose how it can look, right? How you experience this. There's nothing and no one who is more important than you and than to be who you really are. There's nothing more important than discover who you really are.
Well, I think we are on the same page, given that the tagline for this podcast is "You are the love of your life."
Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to add to that, or just how to stay with that as you navigate?
I would just wish that everyone would sense this kind of beautiful, mighty power, what they inherit in their own inner world. Just the belief in yourself. Just never stop to believe in yourself in any kind of situation you are in right now, and also to allow your own guidance to come through.
Beautiful. And very fitting also to the work that you do, which is exactly that, right? Support people to perceive their guidance, be in contact with their inner world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say I'm more serve as a bridge between your inner world and your own heaven, which is ready to come to earth. Yeah, I just offer a loving field and so that you can just be who you are.
And can you tell us a little bit, again, for the context of people who really don't know you or your work at all, what you are providing in this New Earth workshop?
Yeah, so New Earth, it's actually an initiation path.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a journey through a lot of initiations, and it's actually all about the New Earth energy towards 2032. You get initiated into this energy, into this future energy. And what I love in this path is you just experience everything, who you are, your origin, but in a completely new energy, like in a completely new, different dimension.
I love that. I know how tricky it can be to give words to these kinds of experiences.
Yeah, it is.
But I also love the opportunity to share in a podcast this way and host people because, sometimes you just feel something as someone's talking. It's, again, like this man you go on a date with who cancels 5 minutes before. It's not the specific circumstance, the specific words. It's this provision underneath all of that, which is so obviously part of your specialism. Is there another way to work with you right now that you would like to share?
I offer one-on-one sessions, but what will come this summer is my other baby. It's about the Shakti power. I'm downloading this, I would say, quite a while. It started actually everything in Istanbul.
Really?
I don't know, when was that? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? There was a very touching moment where I got connected with a power of mine. It's very a mystical journey, I would say. Being a woman in this new age, now is the time, and it's actually also a reason why I'm here in Crete. I received it in a vision that it's my power place, and I understand the reason a few months afterwards, because I remember a time when we women, not only women, like every being, we were so connected and in this loving state. It was so different. We lived our own origin power. There was no negativity. There was nothing what we experience right now. No judgment. We understood at that time what it means to be our divine origin. And I remember it here at this place. Yeah, it's everything about that. Short version.
Well,
About
that
the
sounds
water,
amazing. I feel like there are so many questions or things I want to discuss with you further also about the relationship between women in particular. I know you have so much to share there, and birthing of the feminine, which is such a big part of your leadership, and connection to power places and the earth. There's so much that I think is not spoken of that so fits into this topic of love in a bigger way.
Yeah.
But I think for today, that starting piece and that decision was such a beautiful story for you to share. So thank you very much.
What I also would love to share is that I will start in May the monthly workshop about Shakti.
Oh, that's really soon. I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't share it yet.
Wow, May is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tell me for the recording where people can find you, and I'll also add that into the show notes on
Yes,
Instagram,
on
website.
Instagram, on Facebook, on my homepage.
Mm-hmm. And can you pronounce your full name for me?
Svaha Derelioglu.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining the Original Love Club and being a spokesperson for it. It's so great to have you here. And part of what I'm intending is, this community. Like, I'm not the only one who thinks about love this way, but those who do sometimes find it a little bit harder to express and appear on the internet and spread, some different ideas, because they're content and living simply and, have harmonious relationships. So yeah, thank you so much for the example.
But what I don't want to create is really this bubble of, I love love and everything is just so wonderful and so easy. No, it's not.
Love is hardcore.
Yes, it is. It is. Definitely. But it makes everything much more easier. You will always have pain. You will always have challenges, but it's also part of your perspective towards pain. Oh, wow. I was so shocked when I entered, spiritual communities. I would say a lot of people think if I do this training, join this workshop, this, that, I won't experience any pain anymore and everything will be fine. It's actually the same like I will meet my prince on the white horse. No, it's
fantasy.
Yeah. But it's a huge illusion, and that makes everything so much difficult, because if you realize that it will always be a part of your life because we evolve through challenges, it makes it much more easier. It's always about your perspective to everything. Anything is just always part of this game. There's no escape. It's up to you how you deal with it. You can always choose to have it nicer and easier.
Exactly this. Love is here to wake us up, or love does wake us up through the function of relationship. And I love that you keep using the word game. The love game and the awareness game of, okay, this is actually how things work. And the remembering, like you say, the remembering of yourself and the constant remembering of that real reality.
And, I think most of the people, they don't have this kind of sense of how incredible it is to realize what kind of superpower you have.
Yes. When did you realize you had superpowers?
Oh, I don't know when that happened, because the last 4 years was a deep transformation, I think it took a while to really accept it. But I would say I'm totally in peace with that since I'm here in my place. And I would say then life really starts. When I realized about my qualities, no, it was not a realization, it was the acceptance, actually. I felt like, okay, now I start to live. Now I really start to live. And this is so touching. This is so wonderful. That makes life much more, it gives this sparkle, this magic, that everything what you always sense, okay, there's more, and you see the world completely different.
So as a former economist, I am somewhat self-conscious to be overheard in discussion with a colleague on the topic of magic. But it suits me very well that Svaha would bring the word magic into our final pointer of discussion here, as I'm someone who considers this realm we call Earth to be an absolutely magical place. And it's something I've faced a lot of ridicule for presenting, but I have included the final sentences of this podcast because they close our conversation so well. Because Svaha also became more animated at this point, and I wanted to include that. And also because, with it being one of my first interviews, I didn't close this down in such a professional way. So as you listen to her final words and as we close down this conversation, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for your openness to feel and to listen and to perceive deeper than the words that are offered. And I hope that if you feel a connection to Svaha, you'll be sure to follow her and connect with her online. I hope that her story and its simplicity has inspired you as it did me.
And this is actually something which I love. I would not say the most, but to really dive into the unknown. Also with my clients or with friends, with my sisters, this was always something which I can sense so good. And it's just, it's like taking the apples from the tree in a way. It's so magic because everything is already there and you just connect with it. And then to see what's happening in your energy field, what's happening in your face, in your heart, it's just wow. It's just, that makes life so colorful because it doesn't have a color from the now. It doesn't has any attachment from anything. It's such a pure source. It's just a pure, let's say, quality which just wants to finally come to earth through you. It's just so precious. It's it's just so joyful and colorful, and I don't know, I love it so much. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
Thank you for that description as well.